1963, President John F. Kennedy was mad. He had just found out that the CIA was running secret operations behind his back, plotting coups, attempting assassinations, and basically playing real-life Call of Duty in other countries, without his approval. So, JFK does what any rational leader would do. He swears he's going to splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces and scatter it into the wind. Yeah, that didn't end well for him. A few months later, JFK was assassinated in broad daylight. And guess who was immediately in charge of the investigation? The same intelligence agencies he wanted to destroy. They took over, locked up files for decades, and to this day, we still don't have all the answers. Coincidence? Maybe. But it's exactly why people started asking, who's really in charge here? Alright, so let's fast forward to today. You just got elected President of the United States. You're feeling unstoppable. You got the fancy office, nuclear codes, people calling you, Mr. President, life is good. But then, you try to change something. You push a new law, fire some government officials, make a big speech about taking power back for the people. And suddenly, boom, your life starts looking like a season finale of House of Cards. Decisions are being made without you. Intelligence reports mysteriously change. News outlets suddenly turn on you. And somehow your favorite fast food order keeps getting messed up. Congratulations, you just met the deep state. And no, this isn't some Illuminati, lizard people, secret society, running the world nonsense. It's real. It's documented. Let's break it down. What is the deep state? So, the term deep state gets thrown around a lot. Some people use it as a catch-all excuse for literally anything going wrong. But the actual deep state, it's not some shadowy group in a secret lair. It's the permanent, unelected part of the government. The intelligence agencies, high-ranking military officials, lifelong bureaucrats, the people who don't leave when a new president comes in. Presidents and Congress, they come and go. But these guys, they're always there. And they run things behind the scenes, shaping policies, making big decisions, and sometimes completely ignoring elected leaders. Still sound fake? Cool, let's talk about how it's actually happened before. You ever wonder why John F. Kennedy, the actual president of the United States, had to sneak out to a cocktail party just to get real advice on the Cuban Missile Crisis? Yeah, not from his advisors, not from Congress, but from a bunch of unelected intelligence guys hanging out in a Georgetown mansion. That's right, the world was on the brink of nuclear war, and JFK left the White House to go talk to the real power players. The same people who had been running things for decades, no matter who was in office. And let's be real, they were probably sipping whiskey while casually deciding the fate of the planet. These guys weren't elected. They weren't accountable to the public. And they sure as hell weren't waiting for permission. And JFK knew it. Because here's the thing. These deep state actors weren't just advising presidents. They were blackmailing Congress, lying to the public, and even working against the very people they were supposed to serve. You don't believe me? All right, let's talk about what happened when a president actually tried to challenge them. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wasn't Nixon just a crook? Sure.
Whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
But let's zoom out a bit. In the 1970s, Nixon tried to take power away from the intelligence agencies, military contractors, and the lifelong bureaucrats running things behind the scenes. He wanted control over foreign policy. Something presidents are theoretically supposed to have. Big mistake. Next thing you know, boom, Watergate scandal. Now, don't get me wrong, Nixon did shady things. But do you really think he was the only president to ever pull something like that? Or did someone behind the scenes decide he needed to go? Because let's be real, there's a reason Watergate ended his career. But nobody cared when the CIA was caught spying on American citizens or orchestrating coups in foreign countries. It's almost like some crimes matter more than others, depending on who's actually in charge. Can the deep state go rogue? The short answer is yes, and the long one. They already have. Multiple times. The intelligence community has gone rogue before. You don't believe me? Ask the Senate. In 1975, the Church Committee, look it up, officially confirmed that the CIA and FBI had been doing whatever the hell they wanted for decades.
You mean the Birmingham policeman set up the beating of the Freedom Riders and you told the FBI that?
That's correct, sir.
We're talking spying on American citizens without warrants, running secret assassination programs, straight up drugging people without their consent to see if mind control was real. Yeah, that happened. Google MK Ultra. You'll never trust your water bottle again. And remember how I said these people don't leave when presidents change? Yeah. That means they've got decades to build connections, secure funding, and make sure nobody messes with their power. If you're thinking, okay, but that was the past, surely this stuff doesn't happen anymore, then, my sweet summer child, let me introduce you to the modern-day version. Edward Snowden, remember him? The guy who leaked classified documents proving the NSA was spying on basically everyone? Yeah, that was in 2013. The government was literally collecting phone records of millions of Americans without warrants, and the second someone exposed it, he had to flee the country or risk getting disappeared. And the best part, the deep state actors who ordered it. Zero consequences, still in power, still making the rules. So, is the deep state real? Yeah. Is it some lizard people world-dominating conspiracy? No, it's just regular old human greed, power hoarding, and an unchecked bureaucracy that's been running the show for decades. And look, this isn't about left versus right. The deep state doesn't care who's in office, because they outlast everyone. So next time you hear someone blaming the deep state for something random like their Uber driver getting lost, just know it's not that kind of deep state. But if we're talking about unelected power players making moves behind the scenes, ignoring democracy and shaping the world in ways you never voted for, yeah, that's real. And it's still happening. Now, I'd tell you to like and subscribe. But hey, if you never hear from me again, you'll know why. Peace.